What's up, everybody? You're listening to Something's Watching from the Dark. I'm Luke.
Dustin.
In this show, we're listening to real encounters and unexplained experiences, and the kind of stories that usually will keep people up at night.
Yes.
So, we're doing one on basically just all stories we found from Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be interesting because I know I found a couple good clips, those stories, and you have some good stuff. And our first
I
that we reached out to um from Arkansas on TikTok.
yes. They which I figured we'll play that like last. That'll be the hoop de gras, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I actually took out some stories because I had like a bunch of them. And I was like, you know what, this is too much. So I narrowed it. I took a couple of the ones that I had put in there out. Which if you guys want to hear those, let us know, and maybe we'll put them on our Facebook or something. But yeah, these stories tonight, we got a little bit. I think we got a little bit of everything. A little bit of paranormal, a little bit of Bigfoot, and a little bit of unknown. I guess you could call that one. But first, before we get into that, if you've experienced something that you can't explain, give us a call on our hotline. It's 412-533-3483. You can leave a voicemail or you can even send us a text. And listen, if you leave a voicemail and it cuts you off, just call back and pick up where you left off. We'll be sure to, stitch it all together. That way we can hear the whole thing and tell it like you'd tell a friend. Where were you? What happened? And how did it make you feel? All right. You got anything else before we hop into these?
No, let's get into it.
Okay. So these are some stories that Luke had pulled from Reddit. This first one here that I'm going to read is about a haunted high school. Now, the story takes place at North Little Rock High School, specifically the 22nd and Pershing building, also known as Old Main in North Little Rock. The person who shared it said that when they transferred there in 7th grade, they were immediately told that the building was haunted. Multiple teachers claimed to have seen shadows and doors opening on their own. According to the story, there was once a very popular football player who died in a car crash. His funeral was held in the school auditorium, and his casket was placed on the left side of the stage. Now, remember that because that's some pertinent information to this story. And actually, it reminds me. Didn't we have there was a funeral that was held at the high school here, locally, in the
Yeah.
auditorium? So this
Yeah.
one is a little closer to home.
You're right.
Now, it says a few years later, strange things reportedly started happening. The former stagecraft teacher who worked there until 2009 was there at the time. She refused to talk about her experience, but other teachers openly claimed they had encounters. The area where his casket was placed has reportedly been repainted several times, but the paint never seems to stay. There are also frequent claims of seeing his ghost in the halls at night and even playing basketball in the area where the basketball court once stood, which is now the stage. He's described as tall with short hair, wearing an old Letterman jacket and blue jeans. Now, the building itself is described as unsettling. There's a section known as the Tower with unused classrooms. Students are apparently allowed to graffiti in that area during school hours. Now, we didn't have a place where you could just go and graffiti. That would have been cool, though. I probably would have been there a lot of the time. But the door is usually locked, and the window is covered with paint. To get there, you climb very narrow stairs, and inside there are desks scattered around and trash left behind. One of the biggest claims is that door will sometimes be unlocked, the desks neatly arranged, and the lights left on. Now, the reason people suspect it's him is because only the principal reportedly had keys to that room. The janitors weren't assigned to clean it. This allegedly happened once while the storyteller was there, though they only heard about it afterward. At the time, people were trying to set up a camera to catch it on video. There's also a rumor about the NLR East campus. So, according to that story, a PTA mother fell from the top of a large metal staircase and died on impact. Jesus. She said to, could you? I couldn't. I have a fear of like falling off of high things. So I couldn't imagine that being how I die. I hope that's not it. I don't wish that for anybody because you got to think about it. You know, you're going to die. You're falling. Never mind. So she is said to walk the halls at night looking through classroom windows while teachers work late. However, there's much more speculation and activity reported at the old main campus compared to the East campus. What do you think about that, dude?
That's very eerie because, like, I work at the school. Not the school, obviously, but I work at a high school, and I've had some weird stuff happen. And there's a lot of energy that goes through schools, a lot of people that go through schools. So, I mean, I can see why there's a lot of energy there.
Right, but things also, rumors happen, things get made up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't think that maybe this is just a story that got passed around enough to like make it a thing, like an urban legend or whatever?
It's very possible.
But here's the thing that like I think about our school and whenever I was working up there, the auditorium, before I even knew that there was a funeral that was held in there, or even the fact that somebody had died in the bathroom down that hall, I felt like that side of the school always had a different kind of like something's watching energy.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to tell you this, but the other day when the kids had no school, I can't remember when it was, but I was using the walk behind, cleaning my floors, and I'm going down the hallway, and I hear like footsteps behind me, and like it was to the point where like I could feel them, like when you feel someone's watching, like walking behind you.
Yeah.
And I look around, and there's nobody behind me. So I was like, okay, that's strange. And maybe like the walk behind makes a lot of noise, and like I was like, okay, maybe it's something that has to do with like that. So I continue going. I hear it again in a different location on the floor. And I look around behind me, and there's nobody there. So I keep going. I hear it again. I hear it a few times. So like whatever was there was chasing me with a walk behind.
That's crazy.
Either like playing or like interested in it. It's like I don't know. It's like not a big person. It's like a smaller child.
That's so weird. What? Now you're in what used to be my section, right? Where did this happen? In that section?
Yes.
So listen, this is now for
It happens
everybody
by
else.
in the longer part of the hallway, not the short part.
Would
like
you say
by like the steps to go down to the middle school office?
Okay. Even still though, I think from that hallway in your section is a door to access the light room, which is above the auditorium.
Yes, but it's a different part of the hallway. But yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe that energy is like leaking its way. What's happening over there? What is happening, dude? Your light's flickering on and off.
It's the thing.
Cut the nose for Ratu. Nose for Ratu. All right. Do you want to bring in this next one?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All right.
Now, next story is from Al Capone's site, which was at the Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs. The person who shared this said they stopped by the El Capone suite. For those who didn't know, El Capone used to travel to Hot Springs for a business trip, and he was staying in a private suite at this hotel. The room became well known as the El Capone suite, and it was once available to rent by someone in the 1980s. It was closed off part to the building into the mountain. That makes no sense.
It says that it was closed off because part of it was built into the mountain and it was considered to be unsafe. They said that they stopped outside the room with their family and took a few pictures at the door. They didn't expect anything to happen, but as they turned around, they heard toward the elevator strange voices behind them. And when they turned back and went into the corridor, they saw 3 ghostly looking figures. Each one appeared to be wearing a pinstripe suit and speaking in heavy Italian accents. The figures, they then walked down the hallway, slowly fading as they moved until they disappeared through the wall. The person said that they ran back to their family and told them what had happened, but they never gone back to that hotel since. Now, you kind of had that. Whenever I think about this, I think about what had happened at that building over there, West Alexander.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you see a ghostly figure, what does it look like?
I think that depends on the things I seen was shadows, like a shadow figure. It wasn't like a full body apparition where like I can see the details. I just see the outline of like the shadow. But in this case, it looks like he's actually seen like something because it describes details.
Yeah. Do you think that you would go back? Like if, well, no, I know you would go back. What am I talking about? You left the room to come and get me. If it was me, I'd probably try to communicate with them. Like it would also like, I feel like I would have to overcome something to be able to do it. But I think each situation, there's like a level of of something that I have to overcome. And I feel like this situation wouldn't be so bad that I could muster up the courage to be like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what. Go ahead.
I've seen figures. I've seen stuff like that, and it's not really that scary.
No.
Mm-mm.
I think it depends on the situation too. Like if you seen somebody walking around with their head backwards or something, you'd be like, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, let's switch gears a little bit here. This next story is from Sasquatch Theory on YouTube. The guy in the video, his name is Dave. He's from Arkansas. He's had a ton of experiences with this creature. He's got tracks that he's casted. He's heard screams. He's heard whoops, and he's even witnessed this thing standing in the river. Let me share my screen here, and we will take a listen to this. And by the way, guys, I recommend going and listening to the full episode here because this was a really, really interesting conversation between these two.
The creature that you saw standing in the water, was this in a creek or a river?
It was where there's a spring-fed creek that comes in and kind of cut all the way across our property. And then where, you know, how a stream runs into a bigger bank of water, there's kind of the water kind of backs up right there. And that's where he was standing, almost were probably 10, 12 feet before you actually got to the river. And that's usually where I caught all those big hand-sized perch at, was right in that area there. You didn't have to get in the river. All you had to do is just get right there. It didn't matter if you threw a cricket or a worm or anything, man. Them perch would bite right there in that one spot, and that's where he was. Whether he was eating perch or not, I don't have the slightest idea. But it was right before it got into the water, ran into the river.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And a lot of reports that I get, people say that they encounter these creatures on the water or pretty close to a waterway. It almost makes me feel like the creature was fishing, especially since you said that's a really good area to fish at.
Yeah, I've caught a lot of perch in there. So that's, I mean, probably, but all I know is he was standing in knee deep water.
Yeah, it sounds like you were in shock since you couldn't move. You said that it felt like your feet were like cemented to the ground.
Yeah, my mind was screaming at me to run, but I couldn't move. I mean, I couldn't move a muscle. I had my 22 in my hand, I had my tackle box and my fishing pole in the other hand, and I was just froze there. It wasn't until when he slapped the water and that water hit me in the face is when, how you smack the water and throw a wave at somebody, or, when you're out swimming and stuff. That's what it was like. But it kind of like threw a bucket of water on me with his hands. I noticed his hands were and this one wasn't big, giant, and bulky. It was tall and lanky. But I remember his arms being very long because he was in knee deep water, and when he swung that left arm across there, he scooped water up. So, I would say his hand went down maybe 6, 8, 10 inches, hung down below his knee because he scooped right beside his knee and just grabbed up. It felt like a whole bucket of water hit me. And when that water hit me, it was just kind of like that just put me, I guess, back to my senses. And that's when I dropped my tackle box and my fishing pole. Never let go of my 22. Never didn't even think about my 22 being in my hand. But buddy, I'll tell you what, I left a trail out of there in a little dust cloud. All I wanted was as far away from that rascal as I could get.
So the creature splashed water.
Don't worry, I'll learn the controls here soon. What do you think about that, man?
It probably sounds like the guy said was probably fishing, and trying to get food. But being that close to one where it can splash you is crazy.
That's too close for comfort.
The interesting thing is a lot of these stories where you hear, when they see something, they like freeze, like in fear. Which that's what I would think it is, because they say they are freezing, they can't move.
Oh, you mean the people that are experiencing it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're gonna freeze in fear. So your mind's telling you, "Hey, let's go," but your body's not moving.
You know how terrifying that would be? To know that you're in danger, but your body's not able to respond to get you out of it.
Yeah, it's like a primal, like.
Dude, you know how many dreams that I've had where it's like either I can't get myself out of like a situation that is dangerous because my body like won't move, or here's a good one. Have you ever gotten into a fight with somebody in your dream and you could just tell that your punches aren't landing like you really want them to? It's just kind of like you feel like you throw it with all the force you have, but it's just like
Nah.
No? Oh, well, that's just me then. But yeah, guys, go check out that full episode on YouTube at Sasquatch Theory. We'll try to leave the link down in the description for you guys to check out if we remember. That seems to be a running theme between both of us, if we remember.
Yeah, right.
So This last story is really, really interesting. I loved listening to it. But this comes straight from our voicemail. Now, we posted out on TikTok for you guys to send us your encounters with the unexplained. And you guys absolutely 100% delivered. This one comes from Kip. Kip, right?
Yes.
Because I couldn't tell if he said Kip or Skip. Calling in from Arkansas. Was it
Yes.
Kip?
I believe it was Kip.
Okay. But he says that he was driving down these back roads late at night when something happened that still doesn't make sense to him. Out of nowhere, something struck his arm, almost like he had been spit on.
Yeah, my name is Kip Conrad. I grew up in Bradenton Springs, Arkansas. The incident happened in the summer of 2005. I used to have a 2000 Ford F-150 pickup truck, regular cab, short wheelbase. And one evening, myself, my little brother, two of his friends, my fiance at the time, and my sister were cruising down these back roads, these old gravel back roads, and the road wasn't wide enough for two vehicles to pass. One would have to pull over so one could pass, and then the other one could take off. And the trees grew all the way up to the side of the road. And they were great big old tall trees with big old sprawling branches. And it was dark, like I said. With the headlights, it looked like a big old empty train tunnel looking down it. But I don't know how we survived or anything as far as the stupidity of kids go, because we were flying down this road, talking like 60, 70 miles an hour. And my little brother and his two buddies were in the back of the truck. And had my arm out the window, had music playing. You know, we were just enjoying the summer night air, flying down this road. Well, I had my arm hanging out the window, and all of a sudden it was like someone hopped a great big old loogie on my arm. And there's two things you can do to really get me going: either spit on me or slap me. Well, I done thought I'd been spit on, and I thought it was one of my passengers in the back. So I slammed on the brakes and got out pretty mad. I kept asking all of them, spit on me, who spit on me? I said, I want to know right now, I'm going to whip your ass right in the middle of this gravel road. And their eyes were just big as bulldogs. And they kept saying, Kip, we got to go, please go. And I was like, no, I want to know who spit on me. And he's like, Kip, please just leave, we got to go. It was keeping up with us. And I was like, I want to know who spit on me. I said, I want to know right now, because there's an ass whipping about to commence. And they was like, Kip, please, we got to go. It was keeping up with us. And I finally seen the desperation in their faces. So I got back in the truck apprehensively. I was still pretty mad. And, but I saw the disconcern in their face and the terror. And we hauled ass out of there. And then we didn't slow down till we got to our house, which was, 10 or 12 miles. And I got out still mad, and I started to confront them. And they kept saying, Kip, it was keeping up with us. They said, I don't know what it was. They said the eye shine was of the truck, like the roof of the truck. And they said, well, how could we have spit on you going that fast down the road? They said there was no way we could have spit against the wind and it land on your arm, not going 60, 70 miles an hour. And that's when it really dawned on me. I was like, they might have a point here. And like I said, they told me that the eye shine was even with the roof of the truck. Now, I don't know if it was Bigfoot. I don't know if it was Dogman. I don't even know the color of the eye shine. My little brother still don't talk about it to this day. He'd probably call me crazy if he knew I was doing this. But it really happened, and that's my story.
First thoughts.
You can go first.
Oh man. I posted a video the other day. I don't remember how long ago it was. It was not long ago, about how these back roads in PA are creepy and they make me feel some type of way sometime. If I had something spit on me to be that, no. If it was keeping up with the truck, that's moving, dude.
Yeah, that's fast. And he said he's going 60, 70 miles an hour, so that's very fast.
See, I can't help but think Dogman.
I'm
Or I mean, I guess Bigfoot too.
I've heard stories of Bigfoot spitting on people. Not so much Dogman, which, I mean, it's possible. It's possible it could be a Bigfoot.
Anything's possible.
It's hard to say because they never really seen he never described what they seen. And they never described it to him.
Whoa, that's loud. My bad.
So, was it a Bigfoot? I'm more leaning towards Bigfoot on this one, but it's hard to say because there's no description of the creature.
I've never, like, I can't think about like what it would even have been. Like, what would have landed on his arm? Was it raining? I mean, if it was raining,
I think
maybe a big water drop, but like,
even maybe like sap falling from a tree above.
I don't know. Kip, I got some questions, buddy. Was it slimy? Was it like, was it raining? I don't know.
I think if it was raining, it probably would have been like probably the first thing that came to his mind because he said he got out. If it wasn't raining, like if it was raining, I don't see him getting out of the vehicle.
Yeah,
just because if you have your arm hanging out the window and it starts raining, you know it's raining. You know it's raining because you feel.
Yeah.
So I would have to say, roll out the rain. I mean, sap falling from a tree is kind of.
But what? Okay, before we go too far down that rabbit hole, it wouldn't make sense because of the reaction that the passengers were having.
Yeah, no, there's something definitely there. That they seen. That what makes me think for sure. Because if it wasn't the passenger's reaction wasn't like terrifying, then there might be something more explainable.
How scared would you be if like you'd have to be really convincing if I was about to hand out the butt whooping of a lifetime for getting spit on?
Yeah, you gotta be convincing. You have to like. There has to be something there.
I'm curious to hear like the other Kip, if your other friends that were involved with this, if they would like to maybe share their perspective of it, I would love to hear that. Which I guess that kind of leaves us, where we're at tonight, where we don't have anything else. This is pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it for tonight.
Yeah. If you guys have experienced something like this, give us a call. Like I said, our hotline is 412-533-3483. You can leave a voicemail. You can send us a text message. If you need more time to get all the spooky details, give us a call back. Pick up where you left off, and we'll stitch it together to make sure that we hear the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's getting nice out, so you might be seeing us go live a little bit more often.
I think that we should try that thing that you were talking about, going live and like getting people to join our live and like from TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea.
Yeah. But we're gonna go. I guess we're going across the United States with this. What state do you guys want to see next? What state do you want to do next, buddy?
What state do I want to do next? Ooh, I don't know. There's a ton of states out there. We only covered 2 out of 50.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll go to TikTok. We'll go to TikTok and see what people say.
Yes.
But that's it for tonight, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.